Today we're announcing that our fifth Columbus Cottage recipient is Mr. Paul Jones from here in Columbus. And Mr. Jones, I'm going to let you sit for a few more minutes and then I'll have you come up, but I want to talk a little bit about his life and how we got to choose him. Imagine for a moment going back to where you were on Christmas Eve 2010. For Mr. Jones, it was a very different night. He was with his kids doing some last-minute shopping, mourning the death of his recent death of his wife, who had passed away just 18 months earlier. He was exhausted and decided to stretch out on the sofa for a rest. He awakened, coughing, gasping for air. Black smoke was everywhere. Fire was raging, and by the time the fire department got the fire under control, his home for more than 40 years was nearly burned to the ground. The bedroom was totally destroyed, and excessive smoke and water damage was visible throughout the house. Furniture was demolished, the TV literally melted into the wall unit. But most importantly, treasured family items were burned and lost forever. And yet that wasn't the worst. But we'll go back for a moment to a happier time. Mr. Jones was born in Lumpkin, Georgia in 1937, one of 7 children of Rufus and Marjorie Jones, both now deceased. His parents were farmers, and he learned at an early age about work ethic, and he grew to love homegrown food from his parents. They were farmers. He said his mom grew and prepared the best greens around, and that was his favorite thing to eat. He graduated from Ellington High School in Lumpkin, Georgia. He met a beautiful lady named Bernice Marie Talbert, and he knew one day she would be his bride. They were married 50 years. Wow. And together raised 2 sons and 4 daughters. He worked for the State Highway Department for 34 years in maintenance and made the round trip from Lumpkin to Columbus, but eventually decided to move to Columbus so his children could get a better education. They found their dream home on Dogwood Avenue, and their children attended Rigdon Road Elementary and Columbus High Schools. Mr. Jones worked long and hard, but made time to give back to the community. He has a deep and abiding love for baseball, and he shared that knowledge and love by helping kids and coaching the Pony Colt League for more than 8 years, and even won a Columbus City championship. As most couples do, Paul and Bernice divided home chores, and Bernice took care of the household responsibilities, paying the bills. She was sick for a long time and lost that battle in June of 2009. On that Christmas Eve in 2010, after the fire nearly burned the home he and Bernice loved, Paul discovered that the insurance on his home was no longer in force. Faced with the reality that the house was no longer livable and cost of replacing it all but out of reach, Paul agreed to move in with his son, and although appreciative at age 75, he misses the comfort zone and the neighborhood where he raised his family. His pets, Samson and Nose, still remain at the home in a pen, and Paul tends to them in his garden daily, where he grows tomatoes and peppers, and they're so hot you can smell them from afar. His childhood favorite greens, almost as good as his mom's, he'll admit. When he asked how he felt about the Cottage program, he replied it was truly a blessing, and that he was anticipating seeing the end result and settling in a new place built exactly where he and his wife's life memories surround him. His daughter Terry, the baby in the family, commented that it felt exciting and hopes it will bring a smile back to her dad's face after having lost so much. We are really pleased to introduce to all of you the 5th recipient of our home, Mr. Paul Jones. Come on.
I'm not saying that the kids are doing everything these people are messing up your wall.
Thank you.